The St. Louis Cardinals take 2 of 3 from the Cincinnati Reds as they gear up for a massive 4-game series against the Chicago Cubs. This is Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Haffern, and I am your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. Follow me on X at JD Sports Radio, as well as the podcast at LO_Cardinals. We're on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification button so you don't miss out on stuff. TikTok, Instagram, you can find us there as well. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving the best fans in baseball all of the info about the birds on the bat. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So, how about a round of applause for your St. Louis Cardinals series win? Won 5 of their last 6. Unable to complete the sweep. I get that. People are a little bit down because things didn't go so well on Sunday, but it is still a series victory. And that's what's most important here. Cool to get sweeps, but series victories, you just want to keep stacking, right? That's the goal. And so we got the ugly shirt back on here today, so that's wonderful. But they get dominated on Sunday by Andrew Abbott, and the Cardinals managed just 1 run on 3 hits on another scorcher at Busch Stadium. Like, oh my God. I remember going to Busch last year when they played the Reds, and my mother, my wife, and I went, and we almost died of heat stroke. It was miserable. And it looked miserable again this weekend with the Reds in town, just weather-wise. It's ungodly hot out there. So if you are going to the games, just make sure you get plenty of fluids. I don't want to sound like a dad here, but it's very, very important. But just not a good day for the Cardinals offensively on Sunday. All 3 hits came in the first 2 innings. They didn't have a single hit after the second inning when Joel Pozo singled in their only run of the game. After that, they really virtually did nothing at the plate. And when you say it out loud, I know it sounds much worse than it is because most fans aren't really familiar with who Andrew Abbott is. He's not talked about nationally. He's never mentioned among the elite pitchers in the game. But trust me when I tell you, getting shut down by Andrew Abbott is not just something out of the blue where just some scrub came in and locked you up. The dude has been doing it to teams all season. I'm not trying to make excuses for the Cardinals because obviously you want them to do much better than they did. Just giving you the facts, though, that this guy has been outstanding this year. One of the most unassuming pitchers in the game. 6 feet tall, 192 pounds. He doesn't throw hard. Average fastball at 92.3, which is 1 mile an hour slower than league average for left-handers. Yet nobody is really hitting him this year. He's now 7-1, the ERA at 1.79. He's doing something right, and it's not just against the Cardinals, although he's faced the Cardinals twice. He's been roughed up only 3 times this year, gave up 4 runs in Colorado, and we know how things can go in Colorado at Coors Field. Gave up 5 against the Brewers, and then technically gave up 5 against the Minnesota Twins, but only 1 of those runs was actually earned. And 3 of those runs came when a ball went off their right fielder, Jake Fraley's glove, and bounced over the wall for a home run. So just some bad luck going on in that one. But everybody else, he's pitched very, very well against. 9 shutout innings against the Guardians, has beaten those guys twice. He's beaten the Cubs twice, who the Cardinals are getting ready to play. Allowed 1 run over 12 2/3 innings. So you got to find footage of those games and find out what the hell he did right so we can pass it along to Matthew Liberatore and the rest of the guys for this series. This dude is legit. He's very good. But the Cardinals did have a chance to do some damage in that second inning, and that's where things kind of miss, right? Even at the time I tweeted about it, I was like, I felt like that inning was the one inning that they'd be looking back at and say, that was a missed opportunity. Leadoff single by Arenado. Thomas Saggese reaches on what was ruled an error by the second baseman, Matt McLain. And then Pozo's single makes it 1-1. He's got runners on first and second. There's nobody out. And you know as well as I do, when you have a good pitcher and they're kind of on the ropes, you better knock him down. You better get more, as much as you can against him, because odds are you're not going to get these opportunities again that they're probably going to fix whatever's going on with them. They're going to adjust, and they're going to shut you down, and that's what happened. You get another strikeout by Jordan Walker, who got, let's be honest, got hosed on the second strike call. That was crap. Wasn't really that close, but Abbott got the call. ABS, please come save us. We need you so bad. After seeing what CB Buckner did on Saturday, and then to have, a call like that go against Cardinals, you're just like, I cannot watch this crap anymore. I can't watch terrible umpires continue to be terrible. Like, CB Buckner is the new Angel Hernandez. It's ridiculous how bad he was on Saturday for both teams. But back to the game on Sunday. Jose Barrero, he pops out behind home plate on a nifty catch by Reds catcher Jose Trevino. And then Donnie flies out to deep center. Wasn't much else after that. The Cardinals only had one base run after the second inning. Only one. And that was a walk to Barrero, which didn't happen until the eighth inning. The Reds retired 24 of the Cardinals' 25 batters. Just bleh. The only thing worse than a super hot and humid baseball game is an extremely boring, super hot and humid baseball game that you end up losing. And that's what we had on Sunday with the Cardinals. Miles Michaelis did not pitch bad on the other side of things. But when you got no offense, it doesn't really matter. He gave up that first inning home run to Matt McClain, who I warned you when the series started that Matt McClain was a name to watch. He's batting in that 9-hole, and he doesn't belong there. He's a much better hitter than that. He was swinging the bat better, and he ends up going all the way out, goes from 9th in the order, ends up batting second on Sunday, and I presume that's where he's going to continue to hit as long as he's streaking for the Reds, because he's a very good hitter. He's just had a really tough start. But then Michaelis was really good until the 5th inning, and then they get back-to-back doubles, missed the spot a couple times. 8 and 9 hitters get you to, which is really a kick in the fanny. Then you had a pass ball by Pozo. I feel like the Cardinals lead the league in pass balls. I haven't looked up that stat, but it feels that way. Followed that up by a sacrifice fly. Brought in their 3rd run of the game. Then you get a leadoff double and 2 ground outs off Kyle Leahy in the 6th. That gives the Reds their final 4th run. So, again, it wasn't really a horrendous day by any means as far as the pitching staff goes. 4 runs. You feel like you can do something with that, with this Cardinals offense, but not on Sunday. Cardinals offense, not there. Didn't do much to help entertain the fans that did come out and sit in that heat, which was more power to you guys. Props to you for doing it. Interesting fact that Rob Raines brought up, the Cardinals have now lost their last 4 games on Sunday and have only 1 win in their last 6 Sunday games, and fell to 5-4 this season when they had a chance to complete a series sweep. So those aren't great numbers. It means that they're not finishing the weeks well. And I don't know if it's just exhaustion. I know that it's been a tough couple of weeks here as far as getting days off and stuff, double headers. So you kind of want to cut them a little bit of slack, but at the same time, you want to finish your week a little bit better than what they've been doing. But still, series win, ugly shirt, it's here. Solid victory on Friday, comeback win on Saturday, which was exciting when they really didn't even play all that well and probably should have lost that game, but pulled out that dramatic win in 11 innings, so that was cool. I know it sucks losing the last game, but winning the series, it's got to have the boys feeling good, feeling optimistic with the first-place Cubs in town. We are going to discuss that series coming up next on Locked On Cardinals. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Then crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Now, Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts you can get your hands on. Each 1-ounce serving has 6 grams of protein. It's going to give you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help you feel fuller longer, which is the key to anybody who's trying to lose weight. You never want to be hungry. You want to feel full, right? So when you're watching baseball games or you're watching golf or soccer, football's not that far off. If you're watching that, you're going to want something to snack on. It's inevitable. So why not make a smart decision and grab some super snackable, Wonderful Pistachios to munch on? Makes it super easy to get that quick protein boost, which is always nice if you're trying to build muscle as well. And they provide all 9 essential amino acids while you're watching the big game. So get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Thank you again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. Leave your comments on YouTube as well as on X anytime you want. Your feedback is always welcome and encouraged. Finally, the Cardinals and Cubs will get a chance to play each other here in 2025. 89 days, according to Katie Wu from The Athletic. There's no way I was going to count all that, so I'm glad Katie did it. And while most outsiders accuse the members of the NL Central of not even trying to win the division due to their lack of spending in the offseason, you now have the Cubs at 46 and 31. You got the Brewers at 43 and 35. The Cardinals are 42 and 36, and the Reds at 40 and 38. I can do that math. 1, 2, 3, 4 teams in the division with 40 or more wins. Only one other division in baseball has that right now, and that's the AL East with the Yankees, 45 wins. The Tampa Bay Rays at 43. Love watching them play, by the way. Toronto at 41, and then the Red Sox at 40. Now, do the other divisions in the National League have better teams than the NL Central? Absolutely. Looking at the wild card standings, you've got the Dodgers, Cubs, and Phillies, who are currently in first place. Then it's the Mets and the Giants. Those guys, they got the first two wild card spots. Then it's the Brewers in the third one, followed by the Padres, and they're half game back of Milwaukee. And then the Cardinals are 1 game back of Milwaukee for that third spot. So this series with the Cubs obviously is a big one in many ways. Not only can the Cardinals make up some ground in the division where they trail the Cubs by 4.5 entering Monday, but to continue to compete for that third wild card spot as well. And the Cardinals are kind of catching the Cubs at a decent time, I would say. I don't know if it's a good time, but they had a rough weekend at Wrigley against the Seattle Mariners, and they have lost 3 of their last 4. Friday night, the Mariners beat them up 9-4, and the staff gave up 4 home runs. The ball was flying out of Wrigley this weekend, by the way. Saturday, Cubs win at 10-7. Cubs hit 5 home runs. Then on Sunday, they lost 14-6, and Seattle hit 5 more home runs. Cubs got 4 in that one. There's 9 total home runs hitting that game. A lot of the damage was done by the Seattle's catcher, Cal Raleigh, who is just smashing baseballs left and right. He's now up to 31 home runs on the year to lead Major League Baseball. The Cardinals' current leaders in the clubhouse are Nolan Arenado and Wilson Contreras, who both have 10. Big difference. The Cubs pitching staff gave up 30 runs in 3 games this weekend against Seattle, so hopefully the Cardinals will be able to take advantage of that since the Cubs had to use a lot of their bullpen in that series. They had to endure 12 innings of work, and Craig Counsell was forced to make starter Colin Ray kind of wear it on Sunday when he allowed 7 runs and 11 hits in 5 1/3 innings because he was waiting as long as he could to not put anybody in, hoping he didn't have to use a lot of relievers to close out yesterday's game. Only had to use 2. But, obviously they're thinking more of this series against the Cardinals and not interleague play against the Seattle Mariners. So the Cubs did get some good news. Starting pitcher Shota Imanaga is back this week after dealing with a hamstring injury that he suffered in the first week of May. He's been out a while. The assumption is that he will pitch in this series. We just don't know what spot yet. Okay. Ben Brown is set to start on Monday, and then it's Jameson Taillon on Tuesday. Imanaga could be used Wednesday or Thursday. Most people think that Thursday makes the most sense and is the likely spot, but nothing is official about that yet. But looks like Shota will be at some point pitching at Busch Stadium over the next few days. As for the Cardinals, they've got left-hander Matthew Liberatore on the bump on Monday. Again, I hope that they can go find the video of whatever Andrew Abbott did to do so well against the Cubs in his 2 starts because they're going to need something. I mean, this Cubs offense is really, really good, guys. It's really, really good. Nothing has been announced yet for the rest of the week for Cardinals pitchers. So you got Libby, and the assumption or speculation, I guess I should say, is that Michael McGreevy is going to be back with the team and get the start on Tuesday, which is great because it seems like anytime Michael McGreevy gets called up and pitches for the Cardinals, he does a really, really good job for the most part. Like, I think he's had 1 maybe rough outing, if you want to call it that, but it isn't something new for him to get called up and then go out and throw a gem against a really good team. He's been doing it over the last year. So would love to see that happen and for him to pitch well against these Cubbies. But again, nothing official yet as far as I've seen. Eric Fetty will presumably get the ball in one of these games since he was in the doubleheader game against the White Sox on, what was that, Wednesday? Is that when that one was? Or Thursday? Thursday was the doubleheader, wasn't it? Yeah, because the rain out was on Wednesday. I think I get confused. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, Eric Fetty will probably get one of these starts, and then probably Andre Palante, which is a bit of a bummer that the Cardinals won't have their ace, Sonny Gray, able to throw against the Cubs. You know, it's just not fitting up schedule-wise for him to do that after just pitching on Saturday. And the bummer is because not only is he your top pitcher, but he pitches so much better at home. Like, if you can get him a home start over anything on the road, you want to do that just because he pitches very, very well at Busch Stadium. So, but it doesn't look like Sonny Gray is going to be a part of this particular series, unfortunately. But like I said, offensively, the Cubs, they've been really, really good this year. I was going through these numbers, man. Oh, gosh. Like, this is a frightening lineup to go up against. And even though they got beat 2 out of 3 by the Mariners, they still put up a bunch of runs. We're hitting a bunch of home runs, and they've got some firepower. And they've been led by one young man who has really taken the league by storm. He's doing something that not a lot of people expected. I kind of had a hunch he was going to do some good things, but not a lot of people expected what's been happening. We're going to discuss him and the power rankings coming up next on Locked On Cardinals. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. I mean, you're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are out getting into mischief or getting sunburned at the beach or getting into whatever they're doing. Now, I've been using FanDuel for a couple of years now to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet, so it never feels like you're just going through the motions and doing the same thing over and over. It's super easy to use, it's fast to pay out, which is awesome, and makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. And whether you're placing a same-game parlay or watching a bet right into the 9th inning, FanDuel will make it feel like you're part of the action. And if you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. Thank you again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Pete Crow Armstrong. That's the name. Doing legendary things for the Cubs right now. Don't want to brag, but I will. He was someone I was really excited about fantasy-wise coming into the season. I am a sucker for speed when it comes to fantasy baseball. And Sam Ober and I, Sam's the Locked On Cubs guy, we were texting during spring training this year. And I told him, I was like, look, man, I'm targeting PCA all my leagues. That's who I'm going for. And holy crap, was I right? And holy crap, has that paid off. The 23-year-old phenom is hitting 269, which is a number Chip Carey is going to love to say on Monday. With the team leading 21 home runs, 61 RBIs, 56 runs scored, and 23 stolen bases. Oh, and if that wasn't enough, he's as good as it gets in center field defensively. Second in the league in defensive runs saved with a +7. Victor Scott right behind him, by the way, +6. He's also second in outs above average at +9. Victor at a +8. So not a huge drop-off there. So go Victor. But the dude, he's been virtually unstoppable this year. At FanGraphs, he's got a 3.9 WAR, which is only behind Aaron Judge and Cal Raleigh. Baseball Reference has got him at 4.1. And he's not, here's the thing about, he's not like this big hulking dude. He's listed at 6 feet. We all know how people lie about that stuff. So he might be more 5'10", 5'11", 184 pounds. That's nothing. That's a second baseman. But man, does he run like a deer, and now is displaying the pop to go along with it. He did have a 20 home run season down in the minor leagues. It was a split season between AA and AAA, but he's already at 21 this year. Like, he's never had power like this in a season. It's It's wild. I really, really hate that he is a Chicago Cub because I love watching him play. I love watching this kid play. He's so good. It's so fun. Like just some of the catches he makes defensively in the outfield. You're just like, how did he even get there? And then he's got a flair for the dramatics as far as when Cubs need a big hit. There he is. He shows up. He reminds me a lot. Well, I shouldn't say reminds me. Similar to what Corbin Carroll does for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Another one of my favorite guys in baseball to watch. Small in stature, not a big guy, but they carry a big stick, man. They just line shots all over the place. Big sticks with speed, dude. These are the kind of fantasy ball players you drool over to have all these tools. So he obviously is a key to what the Cubs do offensively. So slowing him down is obviously going to be something that the Cardinals want to try and pay attention to, but they got so many names. Like Seiya Suzuki is having a monster year, hitting 256, 20 bombs, 64 ribbies. Then they got, forget about Kyle Tucker. Remember? Got him from the Astros. He's batting 285 with 15 bombs and 46 ribbies. We know that Ian Happ routinely destroys the Cardinals every single season. And oh, goody, he's heating up too. He's got 4 home runs in his last 4 games. Awesome. Then you're talking defensively, up the middle. Mentioned PCA in center, but Dansby Swanson, the Gold Glover at shortstop. Nico Horner won the Gold Glove in 2023. He's going to win it. He's on his way to doing it this year at second base. Over at first base, they got former Dodger top prospect Michael Busch, who's hitting 353 over his last 5 games. Our old friend Carson Kelly, former Cardinals prospect at catcher, part of the Paul Goldschmidt trade with Arizona. He does most of the catching for the Cubs. Like, it's up and down the order. You're just like, how do you do that? How do you maneuver through it? I don't know. I don't know what you do. Keep the ball in the yard is obviously a big, important thing here. Easier said than done. But the emergence of PCA, the addition of Kyle Tucker, it's added such a different dynamic to this offense. They're 3rd in the league in home runs. They're 2nd in runs scored. They're 9th in batting average. 3rd in stolen bases, so they can beat you with the long ball. They can beat you with the speed. They don't strike out much. They're one of the lower teams in the league as far as strikeouts, but they're 8th in walks. Like, this is going to be ridiculous. I don't mean to feel like I'm drooling over the Cubs right now, but like, you just look at the numbers on paper and you're like, I don't know. I don't know how to beat these guys. It happens though. Miles Michaelis was quoted after yesterday's game because Cardinals, I mean, they're not like, oh gosh, this is gonna be real. No, they're up for the challenge. They're ready to rock and roll. They're looking forward to it. You know, I always make fun of teams. Like I used to be honest, I usually make fun of the Reds because the wife's such a fan of them. But I'll be like, you guys always look at like the series against the Cardinals as your World Series. Like you guys lose your minds over this, where the Cardinals are just playing another series. It's kind of flipped here, where this kind of feels like the Cardinals World Series right now. These games are extremely important. The Cubs, if the Cubs lose this series, they're gonna be like, all right, whatever, we'll move on. Where the Cardinals are gonna be like, woo, we're gonna go crazy. We're gonna be dancing in the streets of Soulard if we win this series. But that's the way it is right now because Cubs are the favorite and the Cardinals are not. But Miles Michaelis was quoted after yesterday's game saying, these are the fun games, the rivalry games, and I'm sure there will be a bunch of blue up in the seats, but hopefully there's more red, which please, let's get the Cardinals fans out there. I do not want to see a sea of blue all over that stadium. I'll throw up. He said, I know it's a midweek series, but I hope the turnout is good. Come to the game and boo the Cubs, get in their head and give us a home field advantage. Let us take our shot, give them hell, and maybe make a move right here. I like that. I like that mindset, Let's make a move. Why not? Nobody's giving them a chance, so why not? Why not us, right? And it feels like the only way to really beat the Cubs is to outslug them, which is not the Cardinals' way of winning at all. And not having Ivan Herrera is obviously going to make it even tougher. So it's going to be an uphill battle. But Seattle just beat them. Teams are beating them. It's not like they're, they have 55 wins and they're just unstoppable force. They've been beaten. You can do it too. But it's no wonder they're ranked 3rd in this week's MLB Power Rankings behind the Tigers and the Dodgers because they're really good. The Cardinals scooted up a spot to number 12 this week. Will Leach says that the Cardinals, if you can believe this, haven't played their hated rivals, the Cubs, yet this season. That will finally happen on Monday when they host the Cubs for a 4-game set at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals come into the series hot, having won 5 of 6. And if they were to somehow find a way to sweep the series, they could be only a half game out of first place. Going to be tough without the services of their best hitter, Ivan Herrera, who will miss 2 to 6 weeks with a left hamstring strain. So, yeah, it ain't going to be easy. But this is why they play the games. That's why they play the games. You would think tonight's pitching matchup favors the Cardinals. You know, you like what you've seen out of Matthew Liberatore most of the year. You like what you saw out of him in his last outing. And he's a competitor. It's always a fun series against the Cubs. So the Cardinals will need to play with the fire and the grit that we saw from them when they took on the Dodgers. Remember, the Dodgers came to town, and it was a packed atmosphere, a lot of fun at the ballpark. Cardinals fans came out in droves, and lo and behold, the Cardinals won that series. Let's do it again. Going to need that kind of atmosphere if the Cardinals are going to pull this one off. A series split, I think, would still feel like a win for the Cardinals in a sense, but losing 3 of 4, or heaven forbid, getting swept in the series, I mean, that is really going to crush the mood. That is really going to dampen the mood that the Cardinals have kind of built up over the last 6 games after going on that skid for a little while. They got back into it, taking care of business against the White Sox and the Reds, and went 5-1 in those 6 games. Can they keep it rolling? Can they keep it rolling without Ivan Herrera? We'll see. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, give us a follow on X at LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio, TikTok, Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. Like, subscribe on YouTube. Appreciate all of you who come by on YouTube and leave comments and the views and everything. You guys are fantastic. That's why you guys are the best fans in baseball for a reason. And we'll see you next time on Locked On.